Hey YouTube, it's AdamX20 and I'm here running a screencast of my screen. I have open Traipse Pious Paladin. This is the latest build. It's in alpha right now, and I thought I'd go over some of the features of the software and what's going on, what some of the changes are, and what people can expect. I'm running on Fedora, but I also have open a Windows XP virtual machine with the same thing, so you can see that there's not much changed, or there's not many differences. First thing, okay, let's see. The first thing we have here is probably the most obvious. Is up here is there's no more menu items, and there's the I can get rid of that. I know what that is. I can there's just images, and those are the let's move this over. These are dockable toolbars. So that's one of the cooler features of them. Like right here we'll have, say I want to move this over here, I can do that. I want to move this over here, sure, I can do that. We'll do that for now. And they still work like menus. Like I can click on this, which is the main menu. If you look down here where my mouse is, this is the status bar, and the status bar will show a little bit about what's going on, as well as the tooltip will. So the main reason for this change is because I'm working on touch capabilities in the software later on, so we'll have just big buttons that you can press with your finger on the screen. Okay, so this is the new settings dialog, and there's quite a bit changed. We'll start off with the general. Right here, my name is no name. If I click on that, it changes to an editable thing. Same thing with status, idle status, and the typing status, and same thing with the disconnect message. And then there's the chat buffer. The chat buffer works. It counts messages. It doesn't count lines of text. It counts messages. So every time someone sends a message, be it a die roll or a chat message, or even if it's a big string of HTML, it counts as one message, and the chat buffer will save that. And after it gets to the maximum chat of the chat buffer, it'll remove it from the list, and then you won't even see it in chat here. And then we can also change our die roller to any of the available die rollers right here in the settings. So obviously the big change here is that there's no more text entry, and there's a lot less guesswork. There's a lot less chance for you to put something in that doesn't work, because it's all going to be wrapped behind this graphic user interface. One of the cooler features of this is if I want to say I can still use, wait, let me show you here. I can still use just regular HTML for styling my name if I want to, and then oh, forgot an equal symbol. And then when I click outside, I'll get to see exactly what it looks like, how other people will see it. But then when I click on it, I'll get the raw text. So that's a cool feature that I worked hard on adding. And then here we have the theme engine, which it isn't fully integrated yet, but that'll be added later. And then all of the different colors. You can obviously change all of this. I don't think the background works right now, but the receive text, sent text, system text, info, and emote text, all that changes. And all you have to do is click on it, and then change it to whatever color you want. You can change it to any of these colors, and it will change, and it will even give you the HTML code that is set up for that. And I worked on this a little bit so that the text would actually change, so you wouldn't get like a blinding contrast, and you wouldn't actually lose the text if you changed it to something else. And then we have the sounds. You can't actually hear that. Let me change my sound settings to my HDMI output. That's not working. Which one is it? I think it's this one. And you can go ahead and press the button and change it to whatever you want. And then if you don't want those, you can just shut those off. You can also change them to none if you want, just like some of them. Now some of these work, like all of these chat events will work, but not all of these system events work right now. So another thing added is Cherry Pie is now fully integrated into the software. Right now I have it currently inactive. My port's not forwarded. In order to do that, you have to forward a port. I can give a tutorial on how to do that later, but it works. It's fantastic, and all you have to do is just set a port. It doesn't crash anymore. One of the biggest problems is it would crash, and let me see here. Even if you test like let's test port 80. See, port 80 is closed. So one of the problems with the old Cherry Pie is if you tried to set it up and you used the port that was already in use, Cherry Pie would crash. Your entire system would segmentation fault, and you wouldn't know what was going on. And if you had Cherry Pie set up to auto start, you wouldn't even know how to fix it. So I've made it clean and safe. Cherry Pie is really easy to use now. All you have to do is forward a port and keep clicking the test button and find out which ports work. Now for the user interface stuff, this stuff isn't active yet, but it will be later. Basically what it's going to allow you to do is hide all of these docs. There's the chat doc down here, the player list, the game tree, the campaign tree, character tree. You'll be able to hide those if you want to. You don't have to show all of those. And then there's the game map right here. And then you'll also be able to select which one is your main one. It'll default to game map, but you'll be able to change that in your options. Same thing with the toolbars up here. You have the map tools, and then the macros. We'll get into that later. And then this is the map tools right here. And then you have the map layers, the layer toolbar right here, and then the card tools. You won't have to show all of those if you don't want to, if you're not using them. So one of the nodes, we'll get into the game tree a little bit later, because there's some changes to it. But one of the tools was the macro tool, which allowed you to just send text right to chat. But I've changed that. It's now you have this macro toolbar. Did I break something just now? Apparently I did. Break runtime error. God damn it, Python 2.7. We will go over here because it works over here, and we'll see this in full screen. So let's go to full screen. There you go. And it's the same thing, same menu UI, and then you can edit it, and you can change the name, you can change the status tip, and you can change the content. This is what's going to be sent to the chat screen. So if I save that and then roll it, I roll a die roll. I can also add new ones, and then I can change the icon by just clicking on the icon, and it has to have a new name. The name has to be different from the other ones, but I don't think that's going to be a huge problem. Otherwise it won't add it. So that's where the macro tools are. You can still do character sheet changes here, but I think this is going to be something that people will enjoy, because you can just set them up. And I'm also looking at, for future changes, if you want to have like a set number of macro tools, if you want to have like a specific macro toolbar for the game that you're running, I'll have that as part of the options over here. Like instead of just adding adding macro, you'll be able to right click on this or something and then be able to set what macro toolbar you're using. So that's something for future development, but probably not in beta. Maybe towards the end of beta into stable. We'll look into that. Let's see here. Now this is a change that I'm not really sure about. Is the room in the tab. I'm not sure about this right now, but this is the way it's set up. If I click on the server, it will then download all of the information. Apparently there's a problem with my meta server, and that server not retrieving rooms. Are you going to segment fault on me? Sometimes it does when it doesn't find rooms. So yeah, I'm not sure about this change right here. The old one had it set up so that these two panels or these two objects were in the same panel. So during beta, we'll look into that and then see how that works. Now for the map, there's a lot of changes going on. I've gone over some of that, but let's see here. Okay, so here's the map toolbar. It's layer based now. If you right click on it or one of the layers, you have the background layer, the grid layer, the miniature layer, and the canvas layer. You can click on the tree and it'll switch layers, or you can click on the icon and it'll switch layers. And then you notice it also switches the tools. There's no fog layer. I've removed Fog of War, and I've done this because the Fog of War is being replaced with the effects layer. So what I did there is I added an effect with the grid layer. So I made the light level of the grid layer dark, and then what that's going to allow me to do is if I throw down a torch, then you see what's going on. The torch has a bright radius and then a low light radius, and then if it's outside of the low light radius, it's dark. So I'm going to switch to the model tool and move my torch over here, and you'll see it'll modify all of the light will be affected. The light layer will be affected, and I'll add a shape here and a shape here, and you'll see that the shape is not affected by the light. The light will wrap around shapes, and it will work also on the inside. You see the light doesn't escape the shape. So that's what's going to happen. And then I have a policy that's going to be the unseen, unsent policy, which is it's kind of a work in progress. I need to make some changes to the network and data being sent, and I think I need to redo how I'm creating shapes so I can send the data correctly. And then what's going to happen is anything that's in a dark area won't even be sent to the players, and only the GM will see it. Only the game masters. If you're a game master, you'll receive the data, but if you're a player or a lurker, you won't see the data. And the reason this is, the reason I made this change is because it's an open technology, and players, smart enough players who know code, who know Python code, can just go in, edit the code, and prevent the fog layer from even drawing. and that's something that I wanted to prevent. Or they can change it to a different color for them so that they can still see where fog is, and then see where the miniatures are behind the fog. So I wanted to prevent that from even being a possibility, so the data will just not be sent to the players. And it works. It's working for the most part. The problem I'm having right now is I just need to itemize the miniatures, or serialize the miniature item IDs per client, so that there's no confusion for clients. Let's see here. So in the toolbox, we got a whole list of features here. We got the layers, and then we got all these images. A lot of these are from Devon Knight, and we can put down a miniature. Now miniatures are either going to be on the miniature layer or the background layer. If you have the canvas layer or the grid layer selected and you put down a miniature, it'll default to the miniature layer. With my model tool selected, I can do some cool stuff here with miniatures now. Let's see here. I'll put this miniature down here. I'm going to switch to my background layer and switch this to dark, just so we can get a better view of what's going to happen. And let's see, hopefully this doesn't break. It might break. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new effect. I will add an effect, and then I'll switch to it, and I'll change it to a light effect. And I'll give it a bright radius of 4 and a low radius of 8. And this is in squares, grid cells. So whatever your grid cell count is, like if it's 5 feet or 1 meter, we're all playing on the same field. And then I'll call it a torch, which I'm not even sure if it's the actual dimensions for a torch. And it did break. Okay. What's going to happen then? What would happen then is it would light up the area. See, when I move it, it does, but it doesn't when I actually set it. And then I can see the torch. I can change it to a different type. The type miscellaneous is going to be for more forward thinking of effects and how effects will be used in game. This is where the fear effect is going to go, or any other radius effects that a character has. They don't even have to have a large radius. They can be just a radius of 0. I think. If not, I'll make sure that's the way it is, so that it just affects the one character. But if you have like oh, I forget what some of the 4th edition radius effects are. But there's I think the Cavalier class, some of the classes out there. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to 4th edition. Excuse me, please. But there's some of the 4th edition classes out there that have like radius effects that anybody in that radius will be affected by it. And the goal designed for the miscellaneous effects is to allow the game master to see some sort of information notice when a miniature is in that radius. For now, though, the torch effect will work. Any light effect will work. You can still assign miscellaneous effects, but they're not going to do much right now, hopefully into stable. Then we have the shapes here. This is it's not good. It's not good, and it's just the way I'm creating shapes. I'm going to work on it, but it's something that'll be better. I'll show you some of the bugs later. And then the effects here. We have the tools, lamp, hood and lantern, candle, and then the dark effect. There's no dark effects right now, but it'll use the same API, and all that stuff can be added. And then here we have the layers, which is all of these. And there's some bugs in here yet that I'll fix, but we can see I'll have the background, which has the squares, the two shapes I added, and then the miniatures and the effect I added, the torch, which is going to be on the miniature layer. What I'm gonna be allowed to do later on, because honestly, there's not too much here that works right now. The sublayer, I'll be able to add this to a sublayer. It kind of works, but it's not. I think I have it disabled. No. Okay, so add it as a child. No, not working. It's all just minor bugs that'll work out later on. I've wanted to get the core of this finished, but what the sublayer is going to allow me to do is treat it just like a layer. So if I want to throw down a whole bunch of, like, say, dwarves or goblins, I can put them down on the map. I can add them to the sublayer, and then I can hide that sublayer. And then I can affect miniatures in that sublayer if I want to. It's more for map organization, but it doesn't work like I want it to right now, and I'm really sorry about that. So those are the map tools. This is the pan tool. It doesn't matter what you grab. This is the modify tool, which then you can just, like, modify stuff. Let's see here. Oh, the card and deck manager. This is a brand new feature. I'm not going to be able to show you everything here, but I can show you some of the stuff. So this is the new MAM deck. I have permission to use this. These are all the card tools. So this is my card hand, and then this is my turn tool. I'm going to load the new MAM deck here, and then I can shuffle all cards. I'll shuffle all my cards, and then I'll draw some cards. So I have cards now, and I'll show you some of the features later on of what I can do with this and the turn tool. But I could just put cards down. Where did my card go? Oh, it's not supposed to be on the background layer. Well, I don't know why it's on the background layer. It's not. So apparently I got some issue going on that they're on the background layer. For some reason they're being painted under stuff, but they're still affected by the miniatures there. It's alpha. I'm really sorry that there's bugs. I'm going to disable some features so people don't look directly at the bugs. I can also deal cards. Right now the only real option that works is face up, and I can deal a number of cards. I'll be able to deal those to players. You currently can right now. You have to actually start a game. And then these are the actions I can take on players, I think. Yeah. No. Oh, this is my search option. Excuse me. So, one of the cool things about the excuse me, the turn tool and all the card features is that when you start a game, people can join your game, and when they join their game, the table for them will rotate as if they're sitting at a new chair at the table. So people aren't playing on just the same side of the table trying to keep their cards organized. Instead, the player will start here, and then when a new player joins, they'll be over on well, that doesn't work very well either. They'll be over on this side of the table, and all of their cards will be rotated. Like that. So you'll see them, you'll see your cards over here, and you'll see their cards over here. And then if another player joins, all of their cards will be rotated. They'll be over here, but all of their cards will be rotated 180 degrees. And what they'll see their cards as if they, as if you would be seeing them. Excuse me, as if you were seeing them just like this. They would see their cards in a normal situation. So yeah, let's go back over here. No. So I'm trying to get this ready for Python 2.7, but it's not working very well. Not right now. I've done most of the coding in Python 2.6. Here's another feature of the chat which I've shown off before, but I can just click on the browser and my web page is down. I can still go to Google and search whatever I want. And it'll work just fine. And you'll see here what the URL is. You get all of your basic stuff. You can even go back a page, refresh your page, and that's a really cool feature that I think people might not really understand why I'm doing it, but it's all about d20srd.org. It's all about getting to this page and then just having instant access to your rules whenever you want to. That's really what it's about. So let's click on that. It'll go up there anyways. So okay, some of the stuff that doesn't work, your status right here won't work right now. You can change your name in game. I can change it to spaced words now. I thought that was a nice feature. And then the chat also does Unicode. So let's see here. We'll go over to Google and let's see, translate to Chinese. And I can just type in Chinese. Boy, that's a big character for hi. Chinese looks cool though. Doesn't matter. Even if you type in Arabic, you could do it. You can also right-click on all of this stuff, copy it, and if you want to, bring it back to Google Chat and translate it. Excuse me, Google Translate. So there's a lot done. We're going beta. We already have some servers up, and looks like I need to get rid of some of these servers. I'm still contacting the old Meta server, which doesn't really work too well. You can see the it won't communicate. Well, Pious won't communicate with Ornery Orc. So you can see I made a server, and I still haven't gotten rid of that room bug. I'm really sorry. Rooms just like disappear for some reason, and I'm not sure why. So yeah. Whispers work. There's still quite a bit of additions I need to go into the server. let's see here. Python server command line. So the command line will work. I could start a server right now, and then I'll be able to connect to it because I'll just connect to my local server. And then, what did I click on? Did I get an error? Oh. Let's try that again. I think I clicked on something. There we go. So there I am. This is the server lobby map, which can definitely be changed. You can actually add and remove permissions to the server. So if you want people to be able to modify the map, you can. If you don't, you can it will gray out these layers. You can give them access to just specific layers, and it will gray out the what access you don't give them. You can remove access to their dice bar. You could do a lot of stuff, but there's still a lot of basic or a few basic features that need to be implemented. Like right now, I can't actually kick myself if I want to. I still get errors like that. So these are the only options I have right now. But I'll put stuff in there. Again, let's see here. The debug console works great. Definitely a good thing. The plugins don't fully work right now. This plugin will work, but there's no hooks for plugins right now. So the plugins work, but they don't. There's no hooks to test against installed plugins right now. I'm still not 100% sure where I want to put them. So yeah, but plugins will work. I can enable this plugin, which is just no. Can't enable that plugin because I gotta change the parent issue. So yeah, it's alpha. There'll be a beta coming really soon, and I know there's going to be bugs in this thing, but I don't want people to stress the bugs right now. I'm really working hard on getting some of the core problems taken care of, like the connection failed host, what is it? The disconnects. That's what I'm looking for. I want to fix that. So I started the process on fixing that. All these little problems right here, I think, are a lot attributed to this computer uses Python 2.7, and this one over here uses Python 2.6, and most of my coding has been done in 2.6, but I'm going to go over here and get it ready for 2.7, and there will probably be a time where I just had to say, we got to switch to 2.7 because 2.7 is more ready for Python 3.0, and Python 3.0 is the next step that people are moving to. And eventually Linux users like me, and I think even Mac users, are going to have a hard time finding these older Python versions. So we got to stay updated. What else do I want to say? I'm not the best presenter. So yeah, I'll be working on the major things, and then during beta, and then I'll be running down all the stuff that people want to send me feedback for. And there's also the where is it? Here it is. There's also the we got a Pious Paladin server here, and then this is Mayhem Gaming's Pious Paladin server, and Mayhem Gaming has been really kind. They have been really supportive of the Traipse movement, which is nice because no one else develops OpenRPG, and the last developers, not Chris Davis, the originator, but the last developers just kind of closed off OpenRPG and just left it to rot and decay. So there's no more features going into OpenRPG, which is quote standard, which really isn't standard. It's the Gilcrease release. I mean, let's get the facts straight. So we have the Mayhem Gaming server. They're preparing for the move to Pious Paladin. They now have 3 servers. There's a Traipse server, and then there's a server that runs on 1.8.0, and then now they're going to have this Pious Paladin server. So if you want to beta test, go to Mayhem Gaming. You know, use their Pious Paladin server because it's a really good server. Let's see what the ping rate is on this. 79.9 milliseconds. That's pretty good. So yeah, definitely go to Mayhem, and you know, you can install this software. I'll definitely help you install the software without breaking your Traipse or your OpenRPG, whatever version you're using, and still run this software and give it a test run. Definitely would appreciate some beta testers. But yeah, this is my YouTube Orbit video for today. It is Friday, 7:51 a.m. I don't know how long this went. It's probably going to be a pain in the ass to upload, but I guess we'll find out. So until next time, bye YouTube.